What's up, this is Nak3d Eli, the mostly unclothed gamer, bringing you Halo, the second mission in the first Halo game, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, as a part of the Halo Master Chief Collection. We're going to start it off with a little jump here, and basically what this is going to do is allow us to skip the Banshee spawn and the Elite and Grunt spawns at the top of this ravine, saving us a ton of time. Kind of tricky to pull off. You turn into classic mode, come to this point, look above that black dot, throw the grenade, and then take a running jump into it to get up onto that ledge. I almost choked there and almost fell, but usually if you get a running start up that little slope where the grenade is, you basically look down, throw the grenade above that little black spot so that it hits your body and gets lodged in between your feet, and then you run up the ramp and jump at the top just as the grenade's going off. It looks pretty hard, it takes a little bit of practice to get used to, but it's super worth it because once you're up here you see there's no elites, no grunts, and no banshees, which are the biggest problem on Legendary and slow you down a ton. So just by learning that one little grenade trick, we have a huge despawn, and that allows us to run the beginning of this mission very easily. And if you miss the grenade jump, you're just right there at the beginning of the mission, so it's not really that much time lost, and you can practice it over and over and over again. We see the broadcasting again that I'm doing this on live stream, so you know this run is legit. Now here you want to take out all of these grunts in the back and try not to aggravate the two elites on the right. I think they're easier to take out if you don't alert them and if they stay on the right side. Sometimes they will move onto the left side though, and then I like to charge them with a plasma pistol overcharge like I will here in a second with this blue dude. Just like that. Basically, if you're really long range or really short range with those plasma pistol overcharges, you can hit them pretty easily, usually consistently. Otherwise, you want to be really up close. Medium range, they can dodge them really well. Notice there that I was looking at that Marine to get the dialogue started. What that's going to do is activate the first drop ship here. Notice that I took no fall damage there. That's because when you land from a high drop, you press crouch when you land, and that will mitigate the fall damage. And if you time it right, you will take literally no damage. Now, all of my dropship fights went well except for this one. You usually want to stick both the elites while they're still on the ship. Not only did I throw the worst sticky of my life in between those two, but then I also happened to have this God stick on the second elite. Right there you saw I plasma pistol that dead body. So this first fight was horrible. I didn't think I would make it out of this, but it turns out that I took out all the jackals with that nade really nicely, and then was able to actually overcharge the elite while he's standing there. The last grunt ain't a problem. Now you want to move away. You have a good amount of time between the first ship and this ship, so I'll let you guys know the timings and when you really got to book it versus when you don't. Here you throw that grenade right at that bottom of that shadow, and you essentially want to time it so that both elites land on it. Now that's hard because there's a little bit of RNG there. It's a bit random whether or not those elites will fall out one after the other or both at the same time. Sometimes they jump straight out of the dropship, other times they sit in it for a while and take a while to get out. So you kind of have to play around with it. Basically for me, it's right before the dropship hits the ground. That's when I like to throw the plasma, and I find that usually takes out at least one of the elites, usually two. You throw it, make sure you also throw it right in between the two, obviously, so that it takes out both of them. And then you just pistol all the grunts to death, as you saw. Now here you have behind this little rock, that'll cause this ship to move. That means it's going to drop. Now you really want to try and practice sticking these two dudes in the nuts, or just anywhere. It's kind of a weird way, I don't know, I can't describe like how to stick these dudes. You kind of just have to practice it, and this is really hard, by the way. The reason that I missed the first two sticks, I think one is I was reading the stream and I wasn't even like focusing on the axis of where I was throwing the grenades, and two is that as the ship's dropping, you want to aim lower than usual. Otherwise you're going to hit the top of it. And then here, so between that dropship and this one, you really want to book it, and you want to chuck these two plasmas in front of the dropship. As such, I got lucky, and all three elites actually ran onto that one plasma. But that positioning is the same as the second ship. You basically just stare at the hill, and the elites are always on the same side every single time on all of these ships. So that's why the positioning is so important. Now this ship is the only one where we're not going to be targeting the elites first. We're actually going to take out the 4 grunts here, and then we're going to throw a sticky over here in case the elite runs that way. Turns out he just went through the dropship. Sometimes he glitches like that. And then here I had a really aggressive push on these two. I'm going to turn and show you that you can also use this hill here for the final dropship to take out the last few enemies safely. You just have to look out for the dropship overhead. And that is the hardest part of this mission. Honestly, the best way to do it is just to practice. It's at the beginning, so it's not that hard to do. But it's better to be aggressive, take everything out before it lands on the ground, essentially, than to let it all pile up and then have to fight them, you know, as a one-man army at the top of those stairs, because they'll rush you from both sides. It's actually way easier to practice this and be able to take them out quickly. If you fail on any one dropship, which, by the way, you always want to take at least 2 plasmas to every dropship except for the last one, as you saw. If not, then you scavenge around on the ground and try to find plasmas for each of those fights. So to sum up the ship battles, getting to the first ship, you really want to book it as soon as the dialogue with the Marines starts. If you don't see any Marines running towards you, it means they probably died and the ship is already on the way. In which case, you don't want to run up to get the pistol ammo and health. You actually want to run to the right around the side of the building and run straight to the ship. There's a health pack on the ground over there and near the lifeboat, and you should have plenty of ammo to take out all of the dropships. And then, so the first ship, you have to book it to. You have plenty of time to get to the second ship, plenty of time to get to the third ship, almost no time to get to the fourth ship. So as soon as you stick those 2 elites, you really just want to book it. And then getting to the 5th ship, you have plenty of time. So that's the summary of that part. Now we're going to park the Warthog here, throw the plasma to help basically stop the elites in their tracks, as you saw. And then here we're going to crouch down this little slope. There wasn't working as well, but if you repeatedly crouch, you actually drop down that slope faster. It saves you a little half second of fire. And that is how we're going to skip this entire section and not have to fight any of the Covenant. It's a beautiful map. So I got some filler time. Haven't really thought about what to talk about. It's currently 1:42 in the morning. I got done live streaming earlier, sent all my viewers to my roommate Nisi, and then we went out to a bar down in Playa del Rey and had a good time. We went to McDonald's, grabbed some vanilla ice cream cones, and then parked in the parking lot like we were back in high school again, just talking about, like, so we don't have school tomorrow, what should we do? But, like, the mall's closed, there's nothing to do. I want some alcohol. Like, we literally felt like high schoolers. It was a good time. So, alright, we are in the Warthog, going up this ramp. We're going to go get the sniper rifle, and then we're going to ditch the Marine because we're about to kill a ton of his buddies, and if he is with us in the Warthog, then he will get mad at you and kill you sometimes. Also, if we kill him instead of just dropping him off, then that sometimes for some reason activates the rest of the Marines to kill you. So we don't want to do that either. They're all somehow connected, supposedly. That's what I've been told. I just leave him off every time. Here we have a cool little slide turn, so check it out. You aim for this little corner right there on the left of the Warthog, turn really fast, and then hold down jump as soon as you turn. The left wheels of the Warthog will actually launch you out of it, and that's definitely the most useful place in the game to use it. If not, you can just run around the structure on the right and then walk straight in. It's just a little fancy time saver. Here we're going to kill all of our teammates, check to see that they're all dead, and that will allow us to proceed to the next part of the mission so that we don't have to kill any of the Covenant. Way easier to just nade our buddies. Now you can jump here, jump here, and then take your time to jump over onto the Warthog. That's where you would want to park it normally if you weren't planning on trying the launch. But I highly recommend it because the launch is a lot of fun once you can get a handle on it. And you get the checkpoint right there, literally, so you can just try it over and over and over until you get it. Just swing the Warthog to the side and then mash the jump button. That's pretty much how you do it. So now we're going to move on to the next section. Notice also no Banshee spawns because we had that first despawn. I think that's why there's no Banshee spawns still. It might be because of the way that we're doing this, in the order that we're doing this, also that there's no Banshee spawns. So this is a very, very safe route for the end of the game. it actually makes the rest of the Halo mission much easier. Now we're going to wedge the Warthog back here where it's not supposed to be, so you'll notice it's having a little struggle bus time getting up here. And then here's my second major choke in the mission. You want to hit both those dudes. I thought I hit both of them, and then I accidentally swung too far. I've never seen this happen. I have one wheel stuck, and I was like, oh no, this is the end of the mission. And so there's just wasted a ton of time, and then this dude right here gets up, and it makes it really hard to kill if he's putting the chain gun over your face. Then this stupid tree is in the way, so I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. But the rest of the mission was so good, so I was like, whatever. Hopefully YouTube won't hate me too much. I'll just include it anyways. It doesn't really change the way that you approach the run or things that you learn from the run. It just shows you that stupid stuff happens and you got to figure out ways to deal with it. That's one way of dealing with that section. By the way, you want to splatter at least 2 of the guys, and then you can shoot and melee the third guy to kill him. The reason you don't shoot all 3 is that will turn the Marines red. And then, like I said, sometimes that will make the Marines in this last section red, which is really bad because they'll tear you to pieces on Legendary. Alright, so I like to target that dude on the left there. I thought he was still alive. That's why I turned back. And then here, the blue elite somehow takes more shots than the red elite. Don't ask me why that is. Here, I tried to take out that jackal. And I'm essentially going to be switching between my sniper for these dudes on the left and then my pistol for these dudes on the right. Backpack reloading in between. So you press reload, switch weapon, which for most people I think is X, X, and then Y. I play on bumper jumper so I can always keep my thumbs on the joysticks, and so for me reloading is B. So I press B, B, Y really quickly, and that will reload my weapon in my backpack. So notice there I had my sniper not reloaded. I switch back and it is reloaded. Here I'm getting pushed by this jackal, and we're taking our time clearing all the enemies in this section because at the end they all rush you at the Marine spawn. So you'll see right here I'm going to head over because there's only like 1 jackal and 1 elite left, I believe. So that's perfectly fine to deal with. Now here we want to grab the extra sniper ammo on this dead body behind the rock. And then we're actually going to look to see if we can snipe any of these dudes really fast. You really don't want to spend more than 10 seconds here. So I'm looking, don't see anybody. I'm like, alright, it's time to book it, and you'll see why. We're going to try to splatter the elites as they're falling from that dropship. So here, normally that elite doesn't rush you, but that's fine. And we saw the jackal shooting as well. So you line it up. These dudes try to tumble out of the way, but they actually get stuck in place. And normally when that second elite touches your Warthog, he dies, but here he did not. So you just got to play a little ring around the rosy with him and try and splatter him around the trees. Then you can pistol or snipe the rest of the enemies to death, and that is the end of the mission. So I thought that was an elite maybe, so that's why I took out my sniper instead of just my pistol. And then once that guy's dead, also you have a health pack right here on the lifeboat. Cortana will say, that's the last of them. If she does not say that's the last of them, then that means there's still some grunt or jackal hiding somewhere. And so you want to drive your Warthog around until you see the red dot on the radar. And then once you kill that final enemy, then Cortana will say, that's it. Also, between the two zones where you have to kill all your Marines, in the top left corner it will say search for additional survivors. That's how you know that you guaranteed killed them all also. And that is how you do Halo on Legendary. So hope you enjoyed. Next time we have Truth and Reconciliation. Peace.